Hey, good evening, everyone. How's it going? Rick here with Hit and Run Candlesticks. Glad to see everybody here tonight. Let's see, for the recording, this is Tuesday, October 1st. How are you, Ed? Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Hey, Chris, Tim, Bill. Thanks, Jim, for posting the pinball link out there. Appreciate that. Hello, Robert. Okay, interesting day, wasn't it? Oh, man, I'll tell you, Jiminy Christmas. Boy, the Bears got a little bit hungry there, didn't they? Here's a daily chart, just looking at the candle there. Little testy right in here. So tonight, certainly, you know how some things just fall apart. So I had everything sort of worked out, and we were going to look at. Well, we still are too, but mostly the long setup, something like this right here. Let me move this over, and let's see here. Maybe I can make this this color here, or does yellow work? Yeah, yellow works, doesn't it? So my favorite chart pattern tonight was supposed to be about, which it will be, but we're going to add some shorts in there as well. My favorite chart pattern, chart pattern, not necessarily favorite strategy. Strategy chart patterns are two different things. So my favorite chart pattern is simply when we have a rally up and then we have a pullback and then a continued rally. Now I'm going to change colors here. I'm going to do that actually I'm going to keep it yellow. And what I like to see is a minor pullback, not a big pullback. That's why you don't see me too often talk about, oh, here's a pullback, the chart's been running up, and here's a pullback to the 50-day moving average, and this is looking like a buy. You rarely hear me say that. And the reason is I think the 50-day simple is a bit too far for short-term swing traders. So this is what I might be talking about right here. Maybe the 50s down here. And, to be fair, let me do this again to be fair. Let's give, let's see, that yellow one, a little longer push up, okay? And then, let's see, then we pull back to, say, maybe that 50-day simple moving average, somewhere around there. Don't get me wrong, I'm not picking on the 50 simple. I'm just using it because everybody probably looks at it one time or another. And then back up. But what happens is on those short pullbacks, minor pullbacks, it's very possible that we just move up like that. Little dips and then back up. But coming from the 50, what's going to happen is you're going to meet a lot of resistance along the way, and you're going to get a lot of these little pushbacks like this. Boy, this is hard trying to get all the colors in there. Before it gets up there. That's just not my style of trading. It's a little too long for me. May work for other folks. I'm not knocking it. I'm just trying to show you my favorite chart patterns. And by the way, if anyone here would like to take the mic one evening and charts, and you'd like to share yours, you're all members. Hey, you're more than welcome. Would love to have you do that. So anyway, I'm just trying to point out what my favorite chart pattern is. We're going to look at some charts here shortly. One thing I want to point out here too. Let's put this in a pin. I don't necessarily put up a lot of fib lines. Every now and then I'll throw one up here and there, but I don't generally do that. When you look at a chart, you put up some fib lines, you look at a chart long enough, and it really doesn't take too long for this. But that, whoops, there we go, 23, what is it, 23, 6, 38, 2. Well, that's hard to write with a mouse. Those are things I'm looking at. When we get past, when we get below the 38.2, then what happens is you start getting a little too deep for me personally, a little too deep. And that gets us closer into this area. Not guaranteed, but it gets us closer into that. I'm not even going to say the 50 because it doesn't mean that you're at the 50. But what happens is this pullback here becomes a bit longer, a bit deeper, and that's not something I want to be involved with. So generally, what I'm looking for are charts that are trending with these minor pullbacks. And what that usually is not a reversal, but more of a just a little buying opportunity in a pullback, something we might call a PBO. That's something that I'm trying to. There we go. I've got a couple watch lists here that I'm going to share a few of them on there tonight. They're all in case we run out of time or something, but. Say for that long trade, this is something what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that rally up, that minor pullback right here, and then we start moving back up. We look for those bullish candlestick signals, and that's exactly what I would look for: that rally and that pullback. Now, this is the for the scanner folks, by the way, for everyone who has a scanner, this is set up in the scanner. It called run and pullback. I'll have to. Sometimes I rename mine, but run and pullback. It's all set up that way. There's also a bear one set up that way. But way back when, way back when. Somebody had given me a scan for this sort of thing, and all it is, I say all it is. It's pretty simple, but if you've never followed it, then it could be complicated, I suppose. But what we're looking for is so much percent up, and usually around that 10, 15, maybe 20% up, and then the pullback. Again, you want to try to keep this, from going way down here. And I've got no idea where, I don't even have moving averages up. So I've got no idea where the moving averages are on this. Thank you, Ed. Bull run and pull back, bear run and pull up. Thank you. Like I said, sometimes I rename mine and probably shouldn't do that. But so what I'm looking for is this big rally. And I don't usually go after this. I don't usually go after this. If we look at this chart pattern right here, there's probably no real big reason for me to go after this. To start with, this candle right here gives me absolutely no clue. Zero clue to buy it. This candle here, we've got a nice little move, but I'm gonna start looking at this resistance line. So now I'm gonna wait. Now, if it did break out and it consolidated, it might in another type of chart pattern perhaps. But what we're looking at are those healthy moves up, those dynamic moves that says, hey, there's something going on here. All right. There's some buyers in this. This is not the mom and pop buying. This is some buying. And then I'm looking for that shallow pullback. Again, not all the way back here, not all the way down. Not, I really don't want to move past that 38% retracement. I really don't want to get in to the 50% retracement. I'm not interested in that because it's too far to go back up. Because charts don't move in a straight line. So what happens is if it comes back, let's get red here. If it comes back, then what happens is the buyers try to come back in, and if there's still sellers and not more buyers, well, it drives it down. Well, guess what? That whole area becomes a problem zone. This whole area right there is a problem zone. I don't want that kind of problem. I don't need that kind of problem. I'm not, some traders, this might work out great. For me, it doesn't work out so much. So what I'm looking for are charts that have put in a nice run, and it can be from the bottom, in the middle of a chart, breaking out. That does not matter. What matters is I want a good, healthy run, a minor pullback. I would call that a minor pullback here just for fun. Let's see there. So you can see right there, we're at 23, excuse me, at 23.6. Here's a 38.2 down here, so plenty of room. I'm nowhere near the 50% mark. Besides, if it comes back 50%, what does that tell you? 50% of the traders don't like it. Is that what you want in your odds? Not really. Not really. I really don't want that. You know, I don't want that kind of game. So this is what we're looking for. And then when we see things like this, we might want to look at what's back here a little bit, but we're not going to get too much into that tonight. We go over these sort of things all the time. Let's look at another one. Home. Now, this is one I'm in right now, and I think a few people here in the room are in. And this, and because it started popping up on the scanner, and actually there was people in the room that was in it long before I was. So, way to go. And I'm gonna get rid of that right there, because here is an area where it may where somebody might have looked at it. You know, here's that big run right there. Here's the pullback. That could have been buying. Now we all know we're all grown-ups here, so we know that not all charts work out 100% of the time. This is a case where it didn't work out. At least not right there. It didn't. It pulled back to support, put in a little belt hold, and then it started again. So here, let's just change the whole color there. So now we've got another run, and here's our consolidation, well above the 23% retracement and 38%, 26 and 38% retracement, well above that. And that's what this is. This is consolidation. If we pulled back to 23%, that's just consolidation. So up, consolidate, back up. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for this to be the buying area and or a slight little breakout in this area, right up in here. So home is one, and this is one that came up when I bought it. It started coming up on the scanner because what we're looking for is X days back, which I think we have it set for 30 days back. So we want to see a percentage run, which I think, and Ed, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's 12% up. So we're looking for a 12% run in the past 30 days, which that's pretty easy to accomplish. Thanks. 12% over 30 days. And we get that 12%, and then we can start looking for we get alerted when the pullbacks, and it says that perfect chart setup, just like this one right here. Let's see. I want to watch my time because I want to make sure we look at some shorts, and then I want to, if you guys have any you want to look at. WW. Here's one I'm currently in, which if it gets a little too sideways, I'll get out of it. But right, look how we popped up here. Look at that pop, and see how we pulled back. Wouldn't that have been nice to have owned right through here? But if you didn't own it, now look, the market took a total turn today. Okay, I just don't see, have not heard of too many people shouting out that this was going to be the turn of events today. Just not too many people. So I think most people were kind of leaning toward that bullish side of things. Like I say, I just, I get tons of emails just like you guys do. I glance over them, everybody touting this, that, and the other thing. And honestly, the majority was a bit more on the bullish side. So today probably surprised a few people, quite a few people actually. Anyway, so all I'm trying to point out is there was a big turn of events today. So let's take that WW. So why is that? There we go. So if you didn't take advantage of this little area right here, right there, that would have been nice entry zone, or, on that breakout. And then you could have owned all this, maybe still own that right in there. And that would have been a sweet little trade. So if you didn't, however, here we go again, doing that same old thing. And I think this is just nearly the perfect type of chart pattern. And certainly can't guarantee whether it's going to work out or not. But here's our run. Here's our consolidation. And this is what that new scanner alert that we have, the LTA. Now, if you guys, somebody else, there's, I don't know, 137 people in here. So I don't know. If half are using the scanner, great, thank you. If the other half are fumbling through charts and looking for them, I'm trying to explain them to you. So you can certainly fumble through the charts and look for that chart, which I did it that way for years. Anyway, we start getting those alerts that says, okay, we've had that run, we've had the 12% over 30 days, and then we have that little pullback, and then we start seeing that buying come in there. And so far, it's working out pretty good. Now, unfortunately, here's a chart right here. Unfortunately, I had to shut things down sort of late in the day, so I don't have too much actually on the scanner for the long side because the market started to take a dump after I had to shut things down. Market took a dump, so there's not too much on my actual window. But here's one that's coming up right now. This is an exact, there it is right there, CYH. I mean, that is a perfect, man, I think that's just killer right there. And if you look at this chart, we have this shooting star up here. It pulls back after our run that we asked for. It pulls back. So a lot of times people ask, well, where do you buy it? Where do you buy it? Well, maybe you buy on this candle. Well, now what do? Well, you bought it. You own it. Like I said, I think I said this earlier, we're all grown-ups here. We need to act like grown-ups. We need to look at charts like grown-ups and not like 2-year-olds. And what I mean by that is if you buy here, don't throw a fit because it does this. It's just moving sideways. If we think we buy it here and if we think okay, we bought it, now it's going to go up like this, I say, come on, let's just be grown-ups. That's not what really happens. Although you probably get an email box full of things that suggest that. When you find one that actually works, let me know. I'm coming over. I will come over. No questions asked. It just doesn't work out that way. So what we look for is those perfect chart patterns that say up, consolidation, and there's a super high probability that this works out. I say that, but I have to laugh about it because the events that happened today. So this is where I had plans to show charts like this. And I mean, I had plans to have the scanner just rocking because this thing was rocking yesterday. And I don't mean tons of them. What I mean is it was pulling up enough that way more money than any 10 of us could put together. And they were all super quality charts. So whether you're looking at them through the eyes of the scanner or whether you're looking at them looking through charts, for example, this is the watch list I put together, not really a watch list. This is the list that I put together for tonight. And the way I would, if this was, say if I was doing this, say old school maybe, I would do something like this right here. I would just go through those charts just like that. Now remember, I've stacked these in here. So in other words, I put those in here. So they're all in here for a specific reason. Like, why would I like GoPro? Well, I don't really like GoPro. Let's see, I better move that for a second or it's going to go behind me. I don't really like GoPro. What I had in here to show you is this right here. Look at that run right there. And look at that consolidation. Where could this have been bought? This could have been bought pretty much anywhere in here. This candle right here broke out, so you might have bought that candle. It pulled back again. Let's realize what we're doing here. Let's not get hysterical because it didn't work out. It did work out. Remember, charts don't work out just because we buy them. Although I would like that. I would like that. So anyway, let's keep going through our list here. So what you're going to do is you're going to bang through some sort of watch list, and this is what we're looking for right there. Just so you know. So if that's what you want to do, there you are. Boom, boom. That's nice right there. And stocks like this, I was showing to show this up move. Here's the pullback. And I mean, today's events might be short-lived. They really might be. It's very true. They might be short-lived. We'll look at that. And I had a chart up. I'll show you kind of some possibilities going on here as well. But I mean, look at that bullish engulf. That chart's still looking sweet right in here. CNTA. I mean, look how that thing popped. And right here, this would have been a good place. That would have been a good, which I don't know if that's, I have to move that out otherwise. So if we come way over here, see, we're looking at 18%, which we're looking for 30 bars back. So it might not have worked because of all this in here. But if we go up, I know we're getting it here. And there's 33% right there. And if you didn't collect that, if you weren't in that trade, don't worry, you might get that chance again. Here it is trying to set up. So if we start to break out, I mean, there's our move up. That's a minor little move. That could still go higher. So that's what I'm trying to show. You know, you can bang through these charts like this. Here's PHM. Nice little run up. And here we are. We're set up right now. So I'm going to go faster now. That's a nice looking chart, by the way. I love that. Up. Nice little rounded bottom here. J-hook set up. Look at that up move. Little pullback here. Oh, we already looked at that one. WW. CLDR. Look at CLDR. I mean, look at that move there. Boom, 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 boom. Pow. And now it's consolidating. Now, this would not be showing up today for me because I have my what I look for is, and there's some charts in here that even shows this off a little bit more to the downside where I'm going to wait because I'm going to wait for the buy signal. And it might pull back to the point where it walks itself out of what I want. But right now, it's done step one, step two. Step one meaning that run, step two, that pullback. I just need kind of step 2.5, some buyers, and then we get into step 3. But I'll show you. There's a couple on here I think that fit is one. See, fit was coming up on the scanner right here. Nice little pop, but it sort of fizzled out. That's all right. I'm waiting for it to do the whole process again. So we get that run to the upside, and that run, darn it, I wish I didn't have to keep moving that over. That run is right here. So up, that's what I'm looking for now. And then when it starts telling me it's a buy in here, then I'll start looking for that. And that's the kind of chart I'm looking for. Whoops, try this again. So if I'm looking to actually buy something, say something that might be ready for tomorrow, it might be like SBH, where we've popped up, we've pulled back. I would be interested on this candle, maybe the hammer, maybe the breakout, this current candle that was presented today. Let's see, home. Home has possibilities. It did close a little wick up here, but I would still consider that. Things like that. So anyway, I'm going to start from the bottom and move up. So see how SSNC, and what I wanted to point out was this move right here, down, and then we had our bullish reversal. We came to this top. Where was this a buy? If you've been if this has been on our watch list for a couple of days, I think I had it on for 2 days, and we talked about it in the room here, that above 51.60, I think we should take this a little bit serious. But you can see what happened today. The turn of events, okay, it's off the table now until it starts to change directions from what it's currently doing right now. So up, minor pullback, and then we're looking for the buy signal to take us up. Buy signal can be here, can be up here. Well, I'll run through some of these pretty quick. HIIQ is following that right now. Here's JBL up until today, which it depends what happens tomorrow, but up until today, that was on the watch list for a buy somewhere in here or a slight little breakout. And here we are, up. See that little consolidation? If you didn't get it here, which that was telling us to, but we can't see everything. Well, here's what I'm looking at again. Again, I got to pull that thing off. So we're looking for that run, because if you count back, there's still plenty days in there. And now we have a nice little pullback. Wait for that buy signal. We could see this tomorrow go up. It could come back a couple more days before we start moving up. But this one will stay on my watch list. So anyway, there's some charts there. Time is getting ahead of me here. So I want to make sure I look at some shorts. Let's see. Can you use T-bands for? You can, Chris. Absolutely. In fact, here, let's do this. Let's throw the T-bands on here, and then what I'll do is just start at the top. I'll pull my flagged ones up top. These are the ones that I plan to talk about. Well, here, I didn't talk about GT. Let's talk about GT. So look how GT rallied up and pulled back, and look where we are. Right there in the bands. Again, today's events change. This is what I wanted to talk about tonight, but I had to kind of change things around because of today's events. Fit, look at Fit. Look how we're up, which it fizzled out after, I was sure was wanting this to consolidate and move up, but it didn't. It's moved back. That's okay, because we're still getting our run in here. Now I'll just wait till, for me and for those with a scanner, we'll just wait till we start getting those alerts on these type of charts, and then we'll look to buy. For those that's going through and scanning manually, then just watch a chart like this when it starts showing that buy signal. Buy signal, by the way, is not necessarily one candle. In fact, I'm more and more thinking it's better. And it seems like as I get older, I don't know, I take a safer route. And the safer route for me would be, let's see here. Let's do this. Let's put this up here. So say we get a bullish engulf tomorrow. That to me might not where I would buy it. Now I might if I'm watching it, if I'm, if this is really on, some good support, things like that, I certainly might. Otherwise, we start showing strength. That's when I want it. I stand the risk of it pulling back, but that's okay, because I understand just because I buy it, it doesn't have to go up. So anyway, let's see. We have the band still up there. So here's WW. Look where WW is. It's right there. Look where Cody is. Haven't even talked about Cody. Look at that nice little run up. Wouldn't that be a nice buy right there in Cody? Right there. Yeah. Home. Look at that. I mean, you just don't get them any prettier than this right here. And these are all off. I pulled mine off the scanner. Quite honestly, I don't have time, nor do I have the patience to fumble through charts anymore. I just don't do it. Easier to take the scanner watch list, either go through those or copy them into some watch list that I can pound through really, really fast. Okay, so let's take a look at some shorts now. So let's bring this over here. Oh, I'm going to leave this here for a minute because I'm going to be messing with this for a second. So when it comes to shorting, I like a particular type of short, and I like a short coming from the top, breaking down through that 50-day simple. That is probably the. In fact, let's see. Do I even have? What is that right there? Yeah, that is probably the only chart that I actually use the 50-day simple on. Well, the rounded bottom breakout. I guess it does use the 50 as well. So, what I like to see is this this trend up. Have you ever gone out? I mean, we've all thrown a ball, right? And we've all thrown a ball up in the air. Well, guess what? It comes back to the ground. I mean, gravity really works. And it's the same way with charts. And traders are a fickle bunch. They really are. We are a fickle bunch. And what happens is, man, we're making money. All of a sudden, holy crap, I better take my money off the table. Well, you know what happens then? It's the exact opposite of what happens over here. What happens over here is the higher it goes, the more everybody touts. Look at that chart. It's great. Hello, Mike. Haven't seen you in a whole long time. As it starts moving up, people start talking about it, more touting about it. And then all of a sudden you get that fear of missing out. And that's what drives stocks up more. And it's okay. As long as they keep going, buyers will continue to buy. As it gets up, it gets a little too high. And then everybody that's getting it, all of a sudden here, that they start seeing this, well, all the red people here, the ones that's fear of missing out, the okay, I'm in it, okay, as long as it goes up, okay. And this is not just the mom and pops. This is not me and you. We're mom and pops. We really are. Big boys do this too. At the end of the month, at the end of the quarter, end of the year, they like to show that they've made some money. They're human. They're not bad people at all. So they come in here, a little selling starts. What do you know? Everybody starts piling on because they want to save that money. They don't want to lose that money. And the 50-day moving average is followed by a billion traders anyway. So it's just a psychological move here. It's been just beat into traders that we get below the 50. Yikes! Look out! We'll take advantage of that. So one of the things that we've done is, I say we. I use we. Is that okay, Ed, if I say we? One of the things that we've done is we've put a nice percentage between that line right there and this line right here, enough that you can make some money. I mean, that's important. When you enter a chart, whether you're buying long and short, it's important that you can make some money. So, and I do use moving averages. I really do. They don't show up on charts as much anymore because, first of all, the scanner takes care of a lot of this stuff. I can look at a clean chart, but then you guys know that I always have the 200 up here and the dotted deuce up here. So we have that blue ice failure, boom, down. We try to come up, whether or not we get to the 50 or not, we're close, yada, yada, yada. It's right in this area right here. This is probably one of the most perfect setups I've seen as far as a nice little top, rounded top, a failure high. We rallied down, we rallied up. Please, 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 Lord, let's get back up there so we can get bullish. Oh, no. And what happened if there was one trader in the world? I'm sorry, two traders in the world. And one trader will color magenta color, and the other trader will color blue color, okay? There's only two traders in the world. We start moving up, and guess what? The blue guy says, that's enough for me. I'm going to start taking my money out. Magenta guy, where is he? He comes up. He's not quite as quick on the trigger. So, it's starting to move back. Well, he's a little slower because somewhere he has it in his mind that this candlestick signal right here means we're going to go straight up, right? I mean, that's what we've all been to the webinars like that, showing charts. Hey, straight up, right? Well, that's not really the way it works out. Not actually. So it starts. Let's see, the red guy starts pulling it down. Let's get down there a bit more. Okay, the magenta guy says, okay, maybe I better start selling, but he's still a little slow, so I'm going to slow this guy down just a little bit. And this guy comes in here. Look at that. Now what happens is there's a battle going on. This guy's up here licking his wounds. This guy's just thinking he's the smartest guy in the world. So he starts popping it up, buying This guy says, to hell with that. I'm selling. I'm not going to do this anymore. Now the magenta guy has got the red guy on the run. And the red guy is sitting here. What just happened? So that's the way the 50 simple kind of works in my mind. Exactly, nah. But in my little pea-brain mind, it does. So now what happens is you have all these people in here that made money, all these traders, all these big companies, everybody making money. Now they're going to come in here. They're going to sell it off. And all it is a chain reaction. You get some sellers starting to sell, then panic sets in. Well, if you have a nice percentage down to that 200 or that dotted deuce, which I think we have it set for 10% to the 200. And I got to tell you, 10%, I mean, that's our minimum. This is 18%. And we're looking at 10% down the dotted deuce here. So, $124 stock. I'd bet 99% of the people, if you're going to buy this, you're going to buy an option. So that's some money in the pocket. So that's a nice blue ice failure. Sorry that took me so long to get through. Here's another one, SYK. And these, we have a blue ice failure. Again, this is where I get them all from the scanner here. For those that are flipping through charts and you want to look for charts that do this sort of thing, then this is what you're looking for. You're looking for not just a breakdown, but you're looking for a top that and even those with the scanner, you still have to make sure that you can recognize stuff up here. Make that top. Here we pull back. Here we've got an Oreo cookie set up. And for those that don't know what that is, it's a dark candle or red candle, white candle here or green, and then another dark candle. And in the perfect Oreo, which I think that is pretty much perfect, it's a Hiromi. That would be Hiromi, completely inside a dark candle, and then an engulf that completely engulfs the Hiromi. That's, to me, the perfect Oreo cookie here. So here we have a little top, and now we're down. I mean, this is just screaming to the downside of about 7-8% right here in the middle. Again, a $200 chart. Mostly option traders are going to be buying that. So that's a nice little trade right there. Let's see, excuse me. Do institutional traders buy on fundamental or technicals? Why don't you call one up and ask them? I don't know, Rick. I'm going to bet that institutional traders buy on fundamentals. I've actually had the privilege of talking to a couple, and when it comes to technical, they have no clue. That's, again, I've only talked to a few. It's not like every institutional trader is my buddy or something. That's not the case at all. We've had over the years several institutional traders leave their job and they're going to go out and trade alone. They've actually come into this room. I'm sure they've come into other rooms. And what I gather is it all depends on the fundamentals. They just do not look at technicals. Now, where I do want to draw the line there is firms, bigger firms, they pay attention to that 200-day simple a lot. You'll find a lot of charts come off that 200, or from the 200 down, they really start pulling back. So they do use the 200. And I know the 50 is right in there as well with the bigger firms. But overall, it's all fundamental. But if you ever get one, go ask them. If you can ever find one, find out what they have to say. So anyway, this is a nice little short here. Okay, let's take a look at these. Let's just start at the top. We're going to take all the flagged ones. Here's H8. Oh, we already looked at that one. Backs. Look at backs here. Here's another Oreo cookie. So again, now the scanner, you could set this up. Blue ice failure and only Oreo cookies. You could do that. I think your pickings would be pretty thin, actually. I don't think you'd get too many. Now, a day like today, a day like yesterday, and a day like before, you're going to get 3 or 4 or more. But overall, that would not be a good combination to have. But as these charts start showing up as a blue ice failure, what you want to do is look for other conditions, like this condition right here, like this top where we went down and then we tried to move up and a failed top. I want to draw on this so bad, but I can't. Now I can. Here, right there. See that arrow. Whoops. There we go. Top right here, top right there. That means something. We tried to break out. We couldn't get going, and we're down to the 50 back up. Look where we are. Here's that head and shoulders type chart pattern right here. So we want to be able to recognize that, not just the fact we're failing to 50, but recognize that, because that should give us a little more confidence in the chart pattern once we recognize those. It also gives us that confidence to hang on to it if it starts turning around and you know that this is resistance right in there. You might or might not get out of it, maybe even add to it, and now we start moving down like this. All right, let's bring this back over. Let's see, I think we already looked at that one. MSI. Got that MSI. Okay, so MSI maybe a little bit gone right now. I don't know that I would chase, but maybe wait till it pops up just a little bit. That might be a nice trade. Otherwise, take a look at what happens here. Man, use those candlestick signals. When you see all this happen up here and you see this whole failure top, there's your Oreo cookie again. There's your follow through. And you see that move right there. I can't count the traders that will email or PM me about a chart like this that's bullish. I used to do the same thing. I used to get suckered into this because I'm thinking I'm buying a chart on the bottom and going to make some big money. Turns out this is what happens. And this could be anywhere. It could be a chart that's actually down and pops up. Big old bear flag is all this is. But when you see something like this, a shooting star, that's a good time to short, even if it starts coming up like this. It's certainly, if you're long, man, be worried. And then you get a candle like this, don't be unworried. Don't get cocky on this, because that's a bear chart every which way from Sunday. So we pop up, and now we get this bearish engulf. What a great place to be shorting up here. What a dynamite place to be shorting up there. And here, here's one. This is right off the scanner right there. This is my blue ice scanner window here. I mean, look at that. Wouldn't that have been today an entry? Look at that. We've got shooting star here. We rally up, fail, down. We rally up, fail, down through that 50. What a great place for that to be in that. Oh, I did it, didn't I? Doggone it. Oh, maybe I didn't do it. Where'd it go? Huh. Sorry about that. I lost my... Huh. Oh, there it is. Sorry about that. Oh, that's my long one. Where'd my short one go? Oh, I hate it when that happens. Yeah. What's that right there? There we go. I found it. That's what happens when you don't have enough monitors. That's exactly. Ed knows. Ed knows. So let's see. MSI, BX. If we look at BX, BX is a little far gone. Little far. A little bit of a rally. And you know what? You have a chart on the watch list. If it doesn't come back for you, move on with it. Let it go. So this is a chart that I would really like it to pop up. I just think 3 big days down like this is not the time to be buying. Not on the 4th day, unless, well, if it gaps up, I certainly don't want to be buying on if it gaps up. There's a good chance maybe the buyers are stepping back in. So a small candle, another candle up. Let's see here. Let's do this right here. We'll just we'll make this blue kind of generic. So you get a small candle, maybe you get another small candle up, maybe you even get another one. Well, now what you want to see is you want a reason. So I'm just gonna, because we looked at a shooting star earlier, man, you see that? Get a board. Get a board. You know, start singing Love Boat to you. That tune Love Boat. That would be a sweet trade right there. But right now, I don't think I'd want to chase this after 3 big days down. Let's see. Did I have one more on here? RPM. Here's RPM. Engulf. Man, that thing engulf. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A whole bunch of candles. I can't click on the screen. Whole bunch of candles here. And we close below the 50. So we start seeing weakness or anything halfway on this candle. Darn it. I guess I'll just move that. We start seeing something below halfway on this candle. Anything below, say, 68.20, I look at that as a short, even though that you may be shorting it and it's not below the 50. That's okay. Some folks will look at this and say, hey, that's a bullish chart. You know what? It could be. It's just moving sideways right now. I'm not going to argue with that. But the story is told pretty much. Oh, let's do this. The story is pretty much told inside that box right there. So we break above the upside. Well, I guess the bulls are stepping back in, right? Because there's resistance, but there's also support. If we break below, I would look at the sellers. The reason I would be a little bit more to the selling side is the bearish engulf here. I also want to do this. Where is it? There we go. That bearish engulf comes with a fair amount of volume. If we take a look at this volume right here, what does that go to? Oh, man, little candle. And by the way, that's a little bear flag right there. There is a evening star right in here. And I look through this. I'll try to be fair. That might be a bullish engulf there. There's a little morning star. So if we start looking at your selling points, double top here, which there's a lot of double bottom, so we'll be fair with that. So you just want to kind of see how everything is going right there. The big trick to me is today's candle, and you can go through make several arguments whether we're bearish or bullish overall on this chart. But today, with that big volume there, I would be looking short. And let's see. Mike is asking, let's see. It would scare you, personal experience here, what institutional traders, fund managers use for their buying decision. Probably. It could be. I could be. Yeah, you never know. They have six different fund managers the past 30 years. Not one of them owned one share in the past 30 years. Holy cow. Yeah, it's, crazy stuff. Thank you, Mike. Okay, so we have a little time left. I want to point something out on the SPY, and then if anyone has any questions about anything we looked at, the long or short side, or just in general, I'd be happy to answer for you. And here's a SPY, and how did that chart? Why did that? Oh, I'm gonna get rid of the 50 now, and the 200, and this 200 right here. There we go. All righty. So, and let's put it on the weekly. There's the week, little cleaner, a little easier. And this is just, I look, I can't even tell you who. I don't remember who, but yesterday somebody was in the room, a member, and I'm not trying to tell stories on a member, but I want to show an example, and I want it to be a positive example, okay? So please take it that way. I don't even know if the person's here. I don't even remember who the person was, but I remember the conversation. So they were pointing out a chart or something like that, and I remember saying, so are you overall bullish on the overall market? And it was a yes. I mean, it was an absolute yes. So, well, okay. And until we totally fall apart, I'm still a little bullish myself, all right? But let's take a look at this weekly chart at some possibilities. And right in here, uh, a megaphone, that's what the red lines are. They're pointing to the megaphone. So, you know, you're shouting into this area here and it's coming out over here nice and loud. So that would be the worst case scenario, or close to the worst case scenario, is if we ended up down there. I mean, that would be a horrible case scenario. Even right in there would be a horrible case. Let's don't even go there yet. So here we have a nice little trend of these lows, and look where we're coming back to, very close. And right in here, I think, is some pretty good support. Maybe a tad lower, perhaps, using that candle. So somewhere right in there, somewhere right in there. You might find some support. We're kind of headed that way. Well, if we start breaking down, charts don't stop and go on a dime. And sometimes they have to go down before they go up, and sometimes they have to go up before they go down. So if we start coming through here and we close below this area right in here, we may just come down to this other line just because it needs to catch its breath. And that's where buyers could pick us up and move us back up. Or it's where we just end up failing, and I certainly don't mean in some sort of a fashion where it fails the next day, or fails, in this case, next week, and then the next week. I mean, we can have some awfully good rallies up, and then we get to the failure. So the truth of it is, if all this was to take place, what is this? This is October. We could be well into November, December, if that was to happen. It doesn't have to happen right away. I'm just pointing out a little possibility is all. So we want to watch this if we do fail. And so think of it like climbing down a tree. You're going to climb down kind of slowly. You get down to that branch, you go down to the next big branch, down to the next big branch. And maybe you get to this branch and you realize, it's too big of a step here, but if I climb back up and grab that other branch on the other side of the tree, then I can step down much easier, not as a big a step. So that's how we get the little rallies sometimes. So I just want to point that out. This is what it looks like on a daily chart. You can see that it is very real that we get to that red line. That is real. I mean, it can happen. We can get to the blue line here. That is very possible from where we are right now. And that can happen in short order. So I just want to point that out to everybody, the possibility here. So I did this tonight. I sat here and I drew this out. And a lot of it was based on like I said, somebody yesterday, member here in the room. And again, I'm trying to be positive about it. I want to be positive. I want everyone to take it positive. I don't even know if the person's here. But, don't be bullish just because. Make sure you look at the chart and you can see what really is happening. So as I did this, I asked myself, I try to put myself on your side of the table. So I did this, well, what happens if it breaks out to the upside? That's simple. The sky is the limit. The potential is humongous. There's nothing up there to stop it. Nothing at all. So if it breaks out, we just simply keep following those rules up. There's really nothing up here to put up there. I mean, you can put fib lines up there. You can put little retracement lines up there. But the truth is, we know exactly what's going to happen if it breaks out. Breaks out, it's going to test. We're going to rally. It's going to test. It's going to rally. It's going to test. And yada, 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 yada. The same thing is going down. It's going to break down. It's going to test. It's going to break down. It's going to test. It's going to break down. It's going to test. And oh my God, which I just got tired of drawing here. I don't think it's going to do that in one big move. So it's the same thing going up. So, alrighty. Now, please, if anyone has any questions here, we have about 10, 15 minutes. So yeah. So no commissions for. So everybody should be calling your broker and say, hey, I want my free stuff, man. Get it. You deserve it. God knows you've been paying it for a long time, right? So get it. Disney short. Let's get rid of that right there. And I'm going to fix my chart. There we are. Disney short. Right now, I would short it. I think you've got a little bit of space in here. Certainly make some money on it. Where's the week? Oh, we are on the weekly. There we go. There's the daily. We've got, there's the gap right there. And now we're running into a little bit of support, which I'm not a big believer in. Support as a reason to, support requires price, just like resistance requires price. There's a pretty good top here. There's that gap here that can certainly be filled. So I see a nice 10% trade for you. So absolutely, I would look at shorting Disney. And I'm going to, let's come over here and do this, because I was looking at this one here myself this afternoon late. And I'm going to put a line right there and see we're already below it. Man, anything below 130.60, I'd be all over that short. Tell you the truth, I'd really actually bring it up here. Anything below 131, I think that's a good short. So thumbs up. Way to go. Let's see, maybe a pairs trade. Chris, help me out on that one if you would. I'm not sure what you mean. Let's see. Okay, Ed's talking to Nigel. CP, if currently short Starbucks, dang it, good for you. I'm not. I was, and I'm not. I was and closed it. Darn it. Would you stay in or cover? I'd be in it right now with today's today's candle and everything's going. I would just, what I would do at this point is start putting in, here, let's do it this way. And let's get rid of this. So let's say you shorted this right here. So what you want to do is we're going to put a line right in there. And we came up to it, but we didn't cross it. I'm not going to be exact with all these, but you'll get the picture. So now what you want to do is you have this line in there. Until you go above that line, that's still a short, unless there's some crazy bullish candle here that just says, okay, that's enough. And then as we start breaking down, and see how we start breaking down here? We break down there. Now, put another line in. And I'm going to put, we'll just, because we broke down more, I'm going to put it here. So just start following it down. So what happens now is if you don't take your money here, which I don't necessarily see a reason to, what happens is you end up losing a whole whopping 2.5%. Well, if you shorted it up here, you're plenty money to give up 2%. If you look at the chart, it looks to me like it's going to come down to this area right here. That would be an area that looks like that's where it's going to come down to. Doesn't mean that that's where it's going to reverse. Not at all. Now, might you get a little bit of a bounce? Well, remember, let's just keep putting those lines in until we come back up over one of those lines. I really wouldn't worry about it. That's a great looking short. Kicked myself for not being in it. I have my reasons for not being in it, which of none of it has anything to do with the chart. Let's see, Richard, I use Schwab 8%. They got from trading large and management business. Yeah, that's all going to go away. Came in late. Hello, Kimberly. Will you not soon after? No, soon after. I'm going to bed. Tomorrow, though, yes. Let's see. I'm short GE and Happy. Yeah, GE has been kind of a sick puppy. Is that down even more? Let's see. Do I have? Yeah. Yeah, GE's kind of a sick puppy. There's no doubt about it. Whoops. Do it that way. There's a weekly chart. If you look at the weekly chart, you can see that, I mean, there's just no rhyme or reason, really. It's just down. So, way to go. Let's see. Thank you, CP. You like the coffee too much. The coffee. See, KBE, the Starbucks? No, I don't. Starbucks. No, KBR. Great topping pattern up here. Little evening star. We came down. Here's the buyers all stepping in, thinking they're catching something hot to trot. And maybe they did. You know, if they bought good here, you know, they made some money up here if they played it right. Absolutely. Absolutely played it. Bear flag, double top, and now we're starting to come back down. So what we want to do is look at possible areas where we might see a bounce. And a bounce can turn in to a bullish reversal. So these are some possible areas that you just simply watch for that price action reversal area here. That's what I would watch for. Anything past that, the next area is down into here. So right now, I think that's a terrific looking chart. Let's add some a volume view. This is, I get asked a lot, do I use volume? I say the answer is always no. And then I always stop and say, well, there is an area or two I do use volume. And that's things like this right here, right there. It's never good to see a bearish chart pattern, candlestick pattern at what you think is the top, because you don't know that for sure, not 100%. You think is the top with higher than normal volume. That's never a good thing. Just the opposite when you see a chart that's down and you see a bullish candle and you see, say, breakout volume, well, that would be something different. That's a good thing. Doesn't mean it works out, but that is a good thing. So because of that right there, I think you've got a pretty good short setup for now. Watch it down into this area right here. You're welcome, Kimberly. Thank you. DG Long. Man, that is sweet. Well, that's a weekly chart. There we go. Still sweet. Nice gap up. We've just got nothing but consolidation. Now, here's the thing. And see, I don't know if you're long right now, which I don't know if I would be long right now. I really don't. I like what it's doing, but you see that gap right here? Now, I like the chart. Here's the weekly. I love the weekly chart. I love it. But if we look at the daily chart, and I'm more of a daily chart guy. You know, I'm more of the guy that, man, if this pulls back too far, I'm going to be a little upset. Well, see that low right there? You see this gap down here? Remember that volume that I just talked about? Let's take a look at that. So let's just take that candle there. We're right in here. Oh, here's the gap. There it is right there. There's the big candle on that gap. Man, that was a lot of sellers in there. So let's think about this. Like it on the weekly chart, but I'm looking at this daily chart. I see this gap in here. Do I really want this? So let's take this arrow out. Let's take that arrow out there. And let's just go right to here. What chart pattern do we have here? What is that? Big old bear flag setting up? So if we want to be long, which believe me, I'm not trying to be bearish on the chart, but I'm not sure I want this risk. The weekly chart looks terrific. Do you want that weekly risk? I guess is what I'm asking. Because you're pretty much going to have to put your stop right there. That's where I think the stop should be. If your stop is right here, you're just asking to be stopped out. That's my opinion. So we need to really overcome this right here. And the way to overcome that is to create a reversal chart pattern. This is not a reversal chart pattern. Also notice these wicks right here, not good. Again, this is not a reversal chart pattern. A reversal chart pattern would require a low, we'll call that the high because it looks like it, and then we're going to need a higher low, which we don't have that today, that's for sure. So we're going to need to see a higher low with a, whoops, wrong direction, buy signal. And then we're going to have to break out over that high. And that is where this might be bullish. There's my 2 cents on DG. Keep in mind, I'm a short-term trader. You may be looking at this long-term. You may be looking at that weekly chart, which I am in love with the weekly chart but because I buy on the daily chart, gonna have to hold up on that. Pump the brakes a little bit. If it starts to break out, go after it, but on that breakout. Let's see, what is the power volume? JJ, thank you for asking. I put that up one time because I like to have fun with everybody. So think of some clever name and put it up there. Everybody will ask you because everybody's looking for the secret little gold pot. Is that the secret? Is that the secret to making money? No, it's not really. I just renamed it. All this is linear regression. It's just the linear regression. I'm using 150. You can change it to 200 if you want. It doesn't matter. I'm just looking for something so I can quickly look at that line and say, using that linear regression, I just changed it to 200. It makes no difference to me. That volume bar there, that volume bar there, that volume. See, we break out that, my eyes see that right away. Now I am going to change this back to 150 just because I've had it there so long. But really, it's nothing but linear regression. It's absolutely nothing more than a quick little, it's a time saver. Rather than, are these volume bars doing this compared to that? I can quickly see at an absolute glance what volume bars are breaking out. Also, if we start getting small, they start narrowing up, shortening up, it just helps my eyes focus on them. That's all that is. And like I say, I use 150. You could put 200 if you want. 100 might be too short. I don't want to see the end of it over here, because then what happens, if you see the end of it over here on the left, see like this right here, then you know what happens. You start focusing on that whole volume thing, and you start doing things like this. Hey, we've got declining volume, don't we? Oh, we do. Phew, you know what that means? That this is going to tank. That's what that means. Yeah, boy, that's going to tank. Boy, I'll tell you what, if there were only two traders in this world, me being one of them, one being somebody else, I hope, God, I pray that's what they think that is. God, I hope that pray. Because I'm going to make a buttload of money and they're going to go broke. So there better be other traders out there, because the other guys are going to go broke. I mean, charts still go up when there's declining volume. So be careful not to make that too short. You don't want to focus on that declining. All that declining right there, look at that chart go up. So make it so you can't see that left side. I've got no idea what it might look like now. Alrighty, what else do we have here? John, we already looked at KBE. KBE is a pretty good short, I think. KBE, there we go. Or maybe we didn't. You know what? Maybe we didn't. That doesn't look familiar. KBE, I'm going to go to the weekly chart. So far, we're still in that downtrend. One thing I am going to do is I'm going to put this up here because that just looks natural to me. So, short? Sure, why not? Everything is still looking to the downside. We're inside that triangle right there. If we break down below the triangle, I mean, we're good to go. But what you don't want is for this to reverse back up. Short, maybe you're short, you're short, you're short, you're short. We break out, you might want to rethink that short, because now we could be setting up to go up. But right now, as long as we're still trading like we are now, and I think there's more force to the downside at the moment, the current market condition, I think that short might be in play. Let's see here. Way to go, Malcolm. Nice. Malcolm made some money today on Starbucks. Way to go. Costco. Costco is still a great looking short. Costco, there we go. Yeah, Costco. Weekly chart. Bearish engulf. Here we are moving down. I mean, this thing is just looking a little bit sick. That candle right there. And let's do this. No, let's do this first. So if we look at these candles, those candles, and just draw a line up, we're below the trend line, right? So right there is like clue. This candle's a clue. I'm going to go over here and grab this little tool right there. And I'm going to grab this volume bar first. volume bar first. There we go. Move on up. There we are. Looks like a bearish engulf to me. Awfully close. On big volume, yikes. Ouch. That's never a good thing. Okay. So here we go with the whole volume thing. I'm going to talk about this, and then we're going to call it a night. So the whole volume, since it was brought up. See how we're having declining volume? Declining volume to a lot of folks, they look at this and they think, well, hey, less sellers are coming in. Again, I wish there was only 2 traders in the world. 3 traders. Me and the guy trading, and somebody sitting on the sidelines, ready to come in to take the other guy's place. Because this can continue to go short or continue to fall. I don't care how small this gets. It can continue to fall as long as there's sellers in there. So that's my 2 cents here. What about the red and blue guy? Red and blue guy. Blue man. Red man, blue man. Okay. All right. I want to thank everybody. Appreciate everyone being here. Everyone have a great night. Get a good night's sleep. Tomorrow should be a little bit interesting. Oh, yeah. Also, here's the T2122. We are way over here in that, that oversold, that bounce area. But, we all know that it doesn't guarantee that we're going to get some sort of a bounce up. We certainly, where's my chart? Right there. We could certainly see a little bit of a nice little bounce up maybe. That can certainly happen. We're right at what could end up being a little bit of support. I think this is pretty choppy, and I think the best way to look at this right through here is on the weekly. You get some pretty stable candles that you can work with. Maybe here's a 6-day chart, 7-day chart, 8-day. Yeah, I'm happy where my blue line is. Just underneath that hammer body. It may be a pinch low, but I'll take that. So we just want to watch that. It's not my job to pick these bottoms on the money or anything. That's not what it's not my job. It's not your job to do that. It's your job to make money, the center of the sandwich. So don't mess with the crust. Let's watch what this does for us to be bullish. So tomorrow, what would make us bullish? It's the exact same number I've been using all along, which I don't know if I'll have to go look because I have to see if that's the high or not. But about that 197.93, if we put in a Hiromi in here, that's possible. Crazy things can happen. That's not a sign of bullishness. That is not. I love it when I hear people say, oh man, it's reversing. What chart are you looking at? Where is that reversing? That's just taking a breath. That's just breathing. Oh, what was this reversing? No, not till it gets over. Well, we would have to put it up here at that point. Is that reversing? No. How about that? Oh, there's a little hammer. Is that reversing? No. So this is not a reversal candle. It's not. Reversals when we get back up over this area right there. So be careful not to pick bottoms. Don't chase. Trade cautiously. And you guys have a wonderful night, or I'm just going to keep talking. Thanks again. See everybody tomorrow morning, bright and early.